I say morning, I don't know. But welcome. So, guys, what I'd like to do is, we have got a pretty small group here today. So let's go around and do this. I have a question for you, actually, to start. So why don't you just say your name? And here's a prompt to begin with, okay? Tell us your name, maybe a little bit about why you're here today. And then answer this question. What did you leave behind in order to be here today? What did you leave behind in order to be here today? So does anybody want to volunteer and go first? Or do I have to, should I begin just pick people?
I'll go.
Okay, all right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marilyn Ashbaugh. I am currently in southwestern Michigan. And what did I leave behind? Well, I'd probably be working on haiku this afternoon. So I really didn't leave much behind because that's what I'm going to be doing here. So thank you.
Good. Somebody else jump right in.
Hi, I'm Henry Brand, and I'm from Philadelphia, but right now I'm in Margate, and I temporarily left behind a walk on a beach, but and I'm on the board of the Nick Virgilio Haiku Association, so I'm familiar with your work, and no matter how many times I've been in a workshop with you, I take something new and exciting away.
Okay. Henry, you got a pencil handy?
A what?
You got a pencil or pen handy? I see one in
your
hand, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just write down the two words beach walk, and we'll talk about that later. Just write the two words down, beach walk. Yeah, everybody can have something to write on. That would be really good.
Wave shell.
Yeah.
I'll dive in next.
Hi,
I'm Angie. I'm in Cheshire, UK. I came because I came to your last one and thoroughly enjoyed it and got such a lot out of it. What did I leave behind? Well, I nearly left behind my evening meal because it's nighttime here and I was in the middle of making a curry. So if you'll excuse me, I'll go off video and finish my meal and I'll listen along for a bit. But thank you for having me.
Terrific. Yeah, Marcia.
Marcia Cohen. I'm new to haiku, even though I wanted to try to figure it out. I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia, and I left behind one of my many Zooms.
Oh. Yeah, we're all zoomed out these days.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, heaven forbid. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And who else do we have from yet?
I finally got in. Robin here.
So Robin, did you leave anything behind in order to be here today at this workshop?
I can't say that I did. No, I just came to it excited as always to find a new generative place.
Okay, terrific. How about you, Dawn? Where are you calling in from, and did you leave anything behind in order to be here today?
Hi, well, I'm calling from Chester, Pennsylvania. It's just outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I left behind a nap. I was going to take a nap.
There you go. Oh boy, there's some sacrifice there.
Yeah.
People giving up beach walks, giving up a meal, and now a nap. I don't know. This is not sounding too good. All right. Let's see.
I'll go next if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. My name is Tom Barovich. I'm in DeLand, Florida. I'm here because I love haiku and feel I can always learn more, and because I love haiku people. I think haiku friends are the best friends. What I left behind, although it's still right in front of me here, is I'm studying the Celtic ogham staves. I don't know if you can see one, but it's the ancient Celtic alphabet. And each stave is the corresponding wood. For example, this is, let's see, vine, ivy, this is elder. And This is an elder branch. And this one is reed, and it's a reed. And they're used not only for writing, but also for fortune telling.
Whoa.
Reed, for example, has to do with harmony and creating order out of chaos and having what you think and what you say and what you do be in harmony.
What are the sticks called again?
They're Ogham, Ogham,
Whoa.
Ogham
I heard of
stakes.
that.
They're beautiful.
Really.
Yeah, they are.
Fantastic. Wow.
That's
So
fantastic.
I left behind studying them, but they're all in front of me just so I can play with them. They make a beautiful sound.
Well, Thomas, if you were in my 7th grade humanities class, I would say, would you put those away to so you're not distracted? I'm just kidding. No, you feel perfectly fine keeping them up. Yeah, right. Let's see. How about Sean? How about you?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I am Sean Lynch. I'm from Philadelphia, South Philly, and I left behind. I was reading a comic book, but I've been ready and waiting and prepared for this moment. I'm very excited about this workshop. So, and I'm the program director for NVHA. If anybody did.
Maybe graphic novel would be a better description.
Yeah.
Well,
And let's see. We heard from. All right, I think we're. Hey, Dawn is Chester. Oh, Barry. I'm sorry.
No problem. Hi, Tom. Hi, everybody. My haiku friends. I'm calling in from Boston. It's a beautiful day up here, but I'd leave anything behind to attend a haiku workshop. So what I specifically left behind is I have a blank note card with a peony on it from a museum gift shop, and I'm trying to write, see how far I've gotten. I'm trying to write a birthday card for my partner whose 70th birthday is tomorrow. So this is important.
Very good.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And
there's
go ahead. Yeah.
we do Haiku Master Fridays on the Nick Virgilio social media. So every Friday we highlight a haiku master. And yesterday we did Edith Schiffert, and she had this peony haiku, which is one of the best haiku I've ever read in my life. You should check that out and maybe quote it in there. You can look it up. You can see it on our Instagram page or Facebook or whatever. We have a post from yesterday. So maybe that'll be good for your card.
Well, I do want to say, and thank you. I can't wait to see it. But I'm going to write my own because, it's just, the love of my life. What can I say?
Oh.
but thank you. I do want to see that one. Thank you.
That's terrific. Well, and I'm Tom, and I guess, I'm over at school. I live a couple of miles from here. And I left behind my bird feeders today, and I do this thing through Cornell called Project Feeder Watch. I don't know if any of you do it, but you make observations throughout the winter. And this is down in Atlanta here. It's been what we're calling sort of a finch winter. So purple finches and pine siskins like we've never seen before have been showing up. And so, I take data every weekend and, record it and send it into Cornell. And I've been doing that for a lot of years. So it was a pretty active day at the feeder. So it was hard to tear myself away, but this is just as good. So yeah, that's great. Well, welcome everybody. Let's start. I know a couple of folks are new today, but a good thing for us to do is to kind of go back and just revisit what we talked about during our first meeting. So if you'd be so kind, if you were there, what are some of the things that, kind of still reside in your head? The conversations or a memorable moment, I mean, this isn't a test, but I'd be curious to see what maybe you've taken with you. So would anybody like to jump in and just either share an impression or, yeah, Henry, what did you take away?
I'm thinking about this since the last one, and that is to prompt yourself by going through your senses instead of just going in your head and seeing what comes up. Instead, what do I smell? What do I feel? What do I taste? And, etc. And there's always something that comes up when you ask yourself those questions. And it's possible. And when I'm in the workshop, easy to come up with a poem that expresses that, a haiku, if you will.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hear you. Anybody else that was here last time? What, one thing that you either recall, either learning or thinking, or anybody?
Tom, let me share this.
Yeah.
It's more of a feeling rather than a fact.
Okay.
But you shared these wonderful poems. I don't think there was a poor one in the bunch, by really ancient and modern masters. And the feeling I have is that we have the potential to write a poem that might be as good as those haiku. I'm not going to be able to play center field for the Cubs or first violin, at the Chicago Philharmonic. That's not really in the realm of possibility. And I probably can't write a sonnet as good as a Shakespearean sonnet. In fact, I know I can't. But I can maybe write a haiku that's as good as the ones you read last time, by the nature of the form. I think everyone has the potential to write a really good one.
Boy, Thomas, I just got a chill when you said that, because as a classroom teacher, a humanities teacher, I feel compelled to look at different poetic forms. And so actually the kids do write sonnets in my class. We do Shakespearean sonnets. We do all the, sort of the foreign poems. And without a doubt, every year when I ask the kids to kind of comment on that, the different poetic forms, what they like best, they invariably say haiku. And it's not because it's short, but because of just what you said. I think they all come away feeling that they have the potential to write a gem. And in fact, most of them end up doing that very thing. In fact, I'm going to show you some today. And so, to my way of thinking, I have a workshop about haiku being the cornerstone to written literacy, and that's part of the discussion is developing a sense of confidence and that it can be achieved. I think you said that beautifully. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else, have a takeaway from last week, something you remember, or, just a moment that kind of, stuck in your memory somewhere?
The most important. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I had a funny aha because I've written a lot of haiku and I've thought a lot about brevity, but I'd never actually counted a bunch of syllables in a bunch of haiku I really liked and looked for that average sort of midpoint. And even though I won't think about it per se as a thing to count, it reset my internal expectation a little bit in a nice way.
Yeah, Robin, I think that gets in, poetry having, form and function. And the more we play with it, with a particular type of poetry, the form sort of becomes ingrained, but it's good to think once in a while. And I think haiku is that, we have to remind ourselves that in English, the English language, haiku is not what it is when written in Japanese. And how do we kind of, I guess it's almost like, if you use a cheesy metaphor, a dartboard, we're all trying to hit the bullseye, but we want to get it on the board, in terms of the form. And then the question is, does it work? Like Thomas alluded to, does it all come together and feel like, it's complete? So no, that's really good. Really good. Well, I assure you that what I came away with is I felt really good and upbeat all day, just, sharing something I really enjoy with you, and just the positive energy in the class. And then, in fact, it wasn't shortly after that, I think maybe I mentioned to Sean, boy, or maybe to you all, that I would really like to do another workshop and see if we can't continue our our journey here a little bit. So um, there's actually two questions. One is I want us to look at, some of the poems maybe we've written. I want to take you through this revision workshop idea, which is part of the PowerPoint presentation I'll go to later. But someone asked me, I don't know who it was, so I'd say my students have had a fair degree of success when it comes to like the Virgilio contest. And one of the questions is, well, how does that happen? I'll have other teachers ask me, and I'm going to share with you, we're going to actually do a short workshop activity today that really kind of addresses and may be generative. You may actually come away with a haiku here. And so, just after you see this, you'll, I think, understand a little more what I have the kids do. So the kids are writing a lot of haiku, and they're giving themselves a room to do a lot of less than stellar ones. Yeah, Henry, question?
Well, I think I just would mention in reference to the students you have that judging by the Haiku Society of America of 1 to 6,000 entries in our contest every year. Last year, 4 of the 6 winners were your students.
Yeah. I mean, so, well, a couple of things. And I think it's probably no mystery. First of all, I have and have had right along, I think, terrific kids. I have a captive audience, right? But that doesn't always work. I mean, there's some things that if they don't like it, they're not going to engage in it. But I think haiku is very engaging, as I mentioned earlier. And they just happen to have a teacher who loves this poetic form, and I think that's translatable. I think that if I had the same passion maybe for Shakespearean sonnets, and there were a contest, for kids writing sonnets, they may do well. I think a lot has to do with having teachers who are both passionate and actually maybe are practitioners. I think that's what I want to say. Teachers who actually do what they're asking their students to do. So, I don't claim any special magic. I think that it all comes together. But a lot of what we do is generative in nature, where we actually begin to commit words to the page and use that as fertile ground to generate haiku of our own. So are you up for a short workshop activity before we get into the PowerPoint? Everybody, you want to give it a try?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you how this unfolds and how this similar idea, you can apply it to any other subject in the world. And this sort of scaffolding will work as a way for you to generate haiku. Because, part of the workshop last week, Will said, haiku happen in 3 places. They happen in the here and now, which is, some of the best haiku, I think, come from that power of observation, that moment keenly perceived. Haiku happen in the memory, which is, that's a fertile ground for sure. And actually, they can be a product of the imagination, as long as they ring true with the reader. Now, there's some people that may argue that, haiku created from the imagination, that sort of defies what the form is about, but I don't think so. I think the poem, if it stands on its own, it achieves its objective. Okay, so this workshop, and we're going to do the abbreviated version, is called Haiku Nothing But the Blues. Okay, Haiku Nothing But the Blues.
What moves?
Okay, and how this the blues, haiku nothing but the blues. And so how this workshop started was I just passed around a little slip of paper to the kids, and I said, from among the primary colors, pick one color, and that's going to be the focus of our haiku workshop. And so red was a close runner-up, but for this particular workshop, the color that won out, and there were 16 kids. And so there were probably 4 or 5 blues, 3 reds, a couple of greens, So I said, okay, this is going to be haiku nothing but the blues. If it was red, I would have called it something different. And so let's start. So we're going to start generative. So I said to the kids, okay, we're going to deal with the color blue. So what I want you to do right now, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, is I want you to list, if you can, 10 different shades or kinds of blue, the color blue, and just write those down. So 10 different shades or colors of blue. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to keep this short, but if you want to just at the head of this say colors of blue, you can add to this later. But the idea here is not, not to so much to flesh this workshop out, but to show you how, if you're teaching haiku, how you can use this model and how you can actually jumpstart some poems of your own by simply committing words to the page. So let's go around and somebody volunteer, just what you've got now. And if you hear a color of blue that you think you can legitimately own, feel free to add it to your list now. Robin, what do you got for shades of blue, kinds of blue?
I got teal, indigo, robin's egg, turquoise, powder blue, and navy blue.
Wow. How
Nice.
many, 6 or 7 already?
That was 6 already, yeah.
Well, does anybody have any other ones to add to the list?
Sure.
Okay, Henry, what do you got?
Cerulean, baby blue, sky blue, dark blue, ultramarine.
Ah.
And I love the word cerulean. Oh my God. Yeah, Marcia. Marcia, you're muted.
Should I read a few that were repeated already or exit those?
Sure, yeah, you could just, yeah. In fact,
Okay.
Marcia, well, I'll get back to that in a minute. Yeah, absolutely read the ones that were repeated.
So robin's egg, periwinkle, cobalt, ultramarine, yin min, which is a brand new blue, indigo, sky blue, turquoise, and cerulean.
Wow, good. Okay.
What was the new one again?
I think it's called yin min.
I have to find that.
It's brand new.
Yeah, yeah. Has Crayola adopted that one yet? Okay.
I wonder if it's
They
like
had a competition. They actually did, but not for that. It was something related to that, but not quite.
Oh,
I wonder
cool.
if it's like Klein Blue named for a person. I don't know.
Well, no, it's a chemically different, but yeah,
Oh.
right. Klein Blue, that would have been a great one. I had like a panic attack when Tom first gave it. So this is right up my alley. So, okay.
Yeah. By the way, folks, real quickly, if I get up and suddenly disappear from the screen, it's because I'm run over to the motion detector, so the light goes on. And of course, you know the deal with that. If the light goes off in this room when kids are here, I tell them it's because there's no intelligent life in the room.
But Tom, you're sitting in so much light. You really don't need to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. One more person. Who else has got maybe another blue we could add? Angie, do you? Angie, do you have a list of blues?
I've got aquamarine, sapphire, Air Force, denim. I don't think those have been mentioned. Peacock, did that go in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does if you say it does. Absolutely. Okay, good. All right. So we got some blues. You can add to your list later on if something pops into your brain. Okay, next part, just skip a line. Okay, a song. Write down the title of a song with the word blue in it. And when you've got one, just jump right in and let's hear what song you've got with the title, with the word blue in it.
I'm blue.
Oh, well jumped at once.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I'll call Barry. What do you got?
Oh, Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah, right. Anybody else? Henry, which one you got?
I'm blue.
Uh-huh. One more.
I can sing it.
Kind of blue.
Blue Moon over Kentucky.
Oh, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon over Kentucky. Blue Moon, yeah.
She wore blue velvet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, I got one. Blue suede shoes.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue sky.
Okay. All right.
Blue Bayou.
Blue Bayou.
Oh, mate.
Oh my. That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Now let's take it one step further. See if you can come up with a lyric, a song lyric with the word blue in it. It's a little tougher. A song lyric.
An original one or from a song?
From a song, well, no, not original, from a song. Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
From a song with just a line or a lyric with the word blue in it. Okay, when you got one, just kind of put your hand up and I'll give you a shout. Okay, Robin.
I'd rather be blue thinking of you than be happy with somebody else.
Good.
I'd rather be blue.
Marilyn.
In the blue of the night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Henry.
I'm blue, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Bong, dong, 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 yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Henry, that's going to play well on this video. Hey, Henry, if this thing goes viral, you're taking me along. All right. So, okay, we're almost there. Now what, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this, but what I'd ask you to do next, and you can do this on your own, but this is something I'd have the kids do, is you're gonna, did we do this last week? You're gonna list the letters from A to Z from the top of the page to the bottom. Okay, so you don't have to do that now, but just start A, B, C, and then put 3 dots, right? And go from A to Z. And then when you have a little more time, let's do this the first 3 letters of the alphabet. What you're going to do is write the name of something that is blue that starts with the letter A. Okay? If you can't think of anything, go to the letter B. To C and so forth. So, and then D and so on and so forth. So see how much of the alphabet you can fill in. So does anybody have anything for A? Something that's blue that starts with the letter A. It's a tough one. How about B?
Well, I had azure skies.
Okay, terrific. Azure sky is A. Beautiful, nice language. How about B? B. Anybody?
It's a little naughty.
Blueberry.
Oh, good.
How about bruise? A bruise. Like,
a bruise. Wow. Yeah.
Bruise was blue. Anything else? B.
Blue balls.
What's that?
I said it was naughty.
Blue bonnet.
Blue bonnet. Okay. Anybody have a C?
This is cheating, but crayon.
Blue crayon. Absolutely. There is a poem I'm going to show you later, Barry, that it mentions a blue crayon. Wait till you see that, and you are going to put 2 and 2 together here, because that's exactly right. Let's do one more. Anything with D that's blue.
Denim dungarees.
Yeah, denim dungarees. Delphinium. I think delphiniums are blue. Okay. So in your spare time, go through the alphabet. See if you can just start creating a word bank with the letters of the alphabet of things that are blue. Okay. All right. So we're almost there. We're not going to do this now, but what I would like you to do again on your own is I want you to write a short narrative about a time when you felt blue. Okay. Now, if we were to do that, if we were to have do another workshop, we would actually look at narrative as a vehicle to generate haiku. If there's round 3 to do, Sean, let me know, because what I would have you do next is just write about a time you felt blue. So what we do in class is we talk about, well, what's the nature of feeling blue? You know, what makes us feel blue? When was the time you remembered feeling blue? And then there's an activity called pointing, where if you do an activity like this, what you say to everybody going into it is, think of all the writing you do in this workshop as public in nature. In other words, what we want to do is write narratively and then share those narratives. But there's an activity called pointing that when you're with a group of people who are comfortable or trusting of one another, you actually begin to share the narrative, and listeners then say back words and phrases that strike them in the narrative. The writer then highlights those words and phrases. And I would love to do that sometime with you if you're up for it. I mean, it's really, there are a whole bunch of ways to approach it, but by and large, those words and phrases that get highlighted are more often than not concrete in nature. They're not abstractions. And so we use narrative as a way to kind of draw out language. So we can kind of circle back for that later, okay?
Love that.
I would ask you right now to look around and list one thing that is blue in your room. Look around right now. You know, and
Everything is
write
blue
that.
in this room.
Yeah.
So everything.
Can you be any more general, Henry?
The walls are blue. The blue in this painting is like blue.
Yeah,
And
well, Henry, all poetry is about making choices. I suggest you make one right now.
Okay,
So,
well,
Henry, if you were
yeah.
in class, and I'm not gonna, we would basically say, well, you got to be a little more specific, right? Let's not be vague about this. Everything is blue. Okay, we can move on.
I'm going with sky blue here.
Okay. Does anybody have something blue in the room that they could share?
Beach glass,
What is, oh,
blue beach glass.
wow.
Hmm.
Oh, there's the B for your alphabet too, isn't it? Blue beach glass. Fantastic.
This is beach glass here.
That's beautiful. Did you make that?
No, I didn't. I wish, but it's beach glass.
Blue beach glass. Anybody else have something blue in the room? Other than everything? Oh, what is that, Angie?
Blue polka dot notepad.
Oh, nice. Is it
Yeah.
like a tin? Oh, pretty.
I've got camel blues here.
Oh, cigarettes? Oh, I thought they were cigarettes, Sean.
They are. They used to be called camel lights. Now they call them blues. You're not allowed to call cigarettes lights anymore, so they call them blues.
Are you a smoker?
I unfortunately am still a smoker. I keep trying to quit, but yeah.
Well, you know, talk Camels, because my dad smoked 2 packs of unfiltered Camels a day.
My grandfather, who fought in World War II, smoked 2 packs of unfiltered Camels every day. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We don't want to get me started on that, right?
I'm not trying to promote, cigarette smoking right here, but I have Camel blues.
That is Turkish blue that they outline those cigarettes with.
Yeah.
I thought, Turkish blue.
Yeah, Sean, I thought everybody's going to think we're doing a little product placement here with this video.
I forgot that.
Okay. One more thing. Okay, something you own that is blue. Something that you own that is blue. Now I'm gonna go to screen share in a minute while you're doing that. And get rid of this. Can you all, who's got something they own that is blue?
I do. I have a blue beach chair.
Oh, okay. All right, write that one down. That's good. Blue beach chair.
Got it.
All right.
I have many pairs of blue jeans.
Yeah, blue jeans. Good. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, can everybody see my screen okay here?
No,
I don't know what that is. It's kind of
it's blurry. It's blurry.
How? Oh, really? That's not good.
Tom, it's the same problem we had last time.
I think you zoomed in. Yep, we're seeing a dot.
You gotta zoom out.
Is it better now?
No.
Nope.
No.
All right. Is it better now?
Go to slideshow. Click slideshow.
Well, this is a Word document.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
No.
Unchanged. It's yellow and green line.
Oh my gosh. I wonder how I can, yeah, this is
Maybe
not
if you
good.
came out of screen share and then went back in after you've zoomed out.
Good idea.
All right, let me try this. Yeah. So you want me to, all right. All right, let me do this. Stop share. All right, this would be a real bummer. All right, let's try screen share now. Any better?
There it is.
Hey,
Oh, thank God. Oh my gosh. I would have been yelling for the seventh graders to bail me out right now. So when we, in sort of the workshop mode, generating haiku comes from a lot of different things. So what you've already got is a bunch of language, words and phrases, and maybe some of the stuff you've written actually jogs your memory. But you can go back and capture haiku simply from some of that language. But I want to show you something. So here's some of the prompts that I just went through with you. But the next thing we would do, and I would encourage you to do, is if you come up with a particular topic or subject, search through some haiku journals, see if you can find reference to it in haiku that have already been written. So let's look at a few of these. So how about a reader for me? Somebody want to take, so these are haiku I found that have something to do with blue. So I'll just call on you and we'll go through and read these. Thomas, would you do the first one?
Sure. Blueberries. We show each other our tongues.
Okay, Gary, pretty nice, right? How about Barry?
Bluebeard's Beach, a ghost crab digs deeper.
Okay, so I like that poem because there's a proper noun. And we'll look later at the haiku workshop. Place names appear quite often in haiku. All right. So if there's a particular place, I think we looked at a poem last week by Jim Casey in Old Faithful. The crowd arrives right on time.
Yes.
Yeah, Old Faithful, the crowd arrives right on time. So if you have a place name, a particular place that you want to use, you can do it. How about, I'll read this one. This is mine. Midday blues, a row of icicles taking shape. Midday blues, a row of icicles taking shape. How about Dawn? Would you do this one?
Raindrops in the raindrops in the orchard's throat, a deeper blue.
Okay. Okay. How about Marcia? You got this one? We'll let Marcia. Oh, here she maybe.
Do you mean Marilyn?
No, let's see. How about Sean? How about you
take? I didn't know which one.
Marcia, would you do Winter Dusk?
Winter Dusk, in the blue of my mind, the skylark's song.
Wow. So a time you felt blue. This poem really kind of points to that emotional state, doesn't it? Feeling blue. Sean, how about this one?
Country fair swelter, the blue ribbon pumpkin lies on its side.
Nick, great, a great image. Let's see. Angie, could you do this one for me?
hot sun, a bluegill swirl. Bluegill is bluegill or blue gill?
It's bluegill. Oh yeah, that's right. It's a small, like a panfish, freshwater fish.
All right, so not something I know.
Yeah.
Hot
sun, a bluegill swirls.
Okay.
Water in a coffee can. Henry, how about the next one?
Glassy pond, the rattling blue dive of a kingfisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to skip this one because it comes up later. This one here, ice out the river, a remembered blue. Let's see. How about Marilyn? Could you do the next one for me?
The pull of the moon, thinking again of the girl in the blue dress.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that lovely? Mm-hmm. So there's a mention of clothing, and you've got something probably many of you on your list with clothing. Blue butterfly, I keep coming back to the same place. Winter dawn, a tub of washing, all run blue. So speak of those Levi jeans, right?
Yeah.
Spring snow beneath the burnt log, a blue looping. So there's a flower you mentioned. Big sky, the grapevine reaching, or blue sky.
Wow.
they find reaching. Just a couple more. Blue skies. A woman hanging out the wash waves to a passing train.
It was just Cora's birthday.
How old was, boy, Cora's got to be getting up there, huh?
I think 90.
90, right. And here's, who was
Oh,
it? Who had the blue? Was it
Barry.
Oh,
Barry?
there's the crayon.
Yeah, there it
So
is.
sometimes
Wow.
we can be dismissive of things we've written and say, well, that can't possibly be a haiku. And you said blue crayon. It was sort of, well, how about blue crayon? That you would have some company with Evelyn Lang. Perfect summer day, one blue crayon missing from the box.
Love
And
Now,
it.
Tom, that was a teachable moment for me
who said that?
because I wasn't confident about the crayon, but wow.
Well, I could tell, Barry, you weren't confident, your voice, because, well, how could this possibly be? And it's almost like, yeah, well, it was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is fair game, and I dare say if we looked far enough or deeply enough, we'd find haiku just about everything we could possibly imagine having been written about. And the beauty is we can still write about them. So there's still another blue crayon haiku to be written.
Got
even
it.
Evelyn. So, and this one here by Deb Cohen. Now, we'll look later today at some, so they're called non-normative or Gendai haiku, poems that appear in one line. So this is Deb Cohen, who's a friend of mine from Rochester. Ice flows into the deep blue snowy owl.
Mm.
A one-line haiku. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So the kids that I mentioned went through the same workshop. And I'm just going to show you a few of the poems these 13-year-olds came up with that nothing more than having committed some words to the page and read some haiku. And then they were left to their own devices. So this is, can you see this first one by Gus Kritz?
Yes.
Spring morning, the song of a bluebird sets the tone.
Oh, lovely.
She's 13 years old, and in fact, there's a journal called Cattails that is edited by a really wonderful haiku poet, Kala Ramesh, who lives in India. And this poem was accepted for the spring issue of Cattails.
Wow.
How about this one by Catherine Dwyer? February night, the blue light of my phone freezes the future.
Oh, the blue light of my phone. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah. So if I look at that poem, we can always, where we picture this kid, I see her in her room, probably late at night, maybe doing something a little bit sneaky with the phone. She's not supposed to have it out, but the blue light of my phone freezes the future. And look at the beautiful alliteration in there. February freezes future. That's and then I'll show you one more. And this is by Kelsey Eiler, who's 13. Clenched fists, his blue veins catch my eye.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of almost disturbing in a way,
It is.
Yeah.
But it's a moment certainly keenly perceived. So I could go through. So everybody in the class wrote poems that had to do with blue. I just picked a couple, but I think there's some other ones that are equally as good. So I think that, okay. So then I would show the kids, a little bit about the nature of blue. Let's see, can you all see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The term feeling blue or getting the blues refers to an extreme calm associated with blues, such as sadness and depression. So the kids have maybe heard that before, but now they know a little more about it. The saying out of the blue is used in reference to something unexpected. So I actually used that phrase years ago in a poem. I don't know that it's particularly powerful, but out of the blue, the window washer brightens my day. Out of the blue, the window washer brightens my day. Singing the blues, refers to a person who is complaining about their circumstances. The phrase true blue stands for someone who is loyal, trustworthy, and faithful. A blue blood refers to a person of royal, noble, or superior birth. The saying baby blues, it's used to describe the sadness that women feel after giving birth. It is often used in reference to postpartum depression, baby blues. Blue ribbon represents the best, the first, the top, the number one. Into the blue means entering the unknown or uncertainty, not knowing what you're walking into. The phrase Blue Monday means feeling sad, often feelings experienced when weekend is over and work week begins. Blue laws refers to laws that were originally passed to enforce specific moral standards. Blue language refers to using profanity. Okay, and then the blues music characterized by something that is sad, down, focus, and melancholy melodies. Okay, and then here's a list of some blues that most of you probably had most of these, right? All right, so here's your quiz for today. All right, let me see if I can get it. And I'm going to send the winner a package of haiku books. All right, this is on the honor system. Okay, so you have to write your answer down. How many shades of blue are inside a 64 Crayola crayon box? How many shades of blue are in a 64 Crayola crayon box? Okay, does everybody have their numbers down? All right, Thomas, we're gonna start with you. How many do you think?
8.
8, all right. How about you, Barry?
12.
Dawn?
10.
Marcia?
I thought about 12 also.
Okay, we could have ties here. Angie?
13.
13. How about Robin?
9.
Henry?
8.
Marilyn?
15.
15. Sean, you want to take a guess?
11.
11. Here we go. Now, let me see if I can make this work. All right, here we go. Who said 15?
Whoa.
I did. Yeah.
Angie, did you? Oh my God, Angie.
Really?
No, not me. No, I
No,
said
it's me,
13.
Marilyn.
Marilyn, you said 15?
I did. I love blue, so I guess.
Wow.
But
Oh,
yeah, lucky guess.
So Marilyn, when I'm going to give you my email address, so just email your postage. You're going to get a box of haiku books, okay?
Yes.
That's so nice.
Thank you so much.
Well,
And thank you for the other ones you sent also.
Sure, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, 15, isn't that something? So the correct answer, right? 11 shades of blue, let's see. Actually, the answer is 15, not 11. Okay, blue. Oh, in 120 box of Crayola, there are 19. Yeah. Right. The correct answer is 15. All right.
Wow.
Says 11 there, no?
Yeah, I got to check. That's a mistake. The answer is 15.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Disproportionate.
Yeah, so the magical Crayola crayons first appeared on the coloring book scene in 1903. In 1958, they increased their colors from 30 to 64, and eventually in 1998 to 120. 13 colors have been retired, so the real total number of colors is 33. Isn't that delightful? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out of share for a minute so I can come back to you. All right. So that's just a brief. So if I were to do this workshop in a class, I would carry it over a couple of days. And then what we would do is we would start writing haiku with the reference to blue in it. And I'd ask you to write many, many haikus, and I would say, look at your list, generate haiku from your list, go out and about and notice the color blue and delve into your memory. And so you can do that with just about any subject, any topic. I can't imagine how the workshop would have unfolded a little differently had the color that won been red. Can you imagine we did the same thing with that, you know? So, pretty cool. I'd love it if some of you write some haiku with blue and send them my way, you know, I would be glad to, you know, I'd love to look at those with you. Okay, I'm blah, blah, blah here. So any thoughts, feelings? I mean, does this open up, do you think, any possibilities for you as a haiku poet? So I just will say this. I think what we have a tendency to do, and I think it's the, I think it's the writer's block, just ready to spring its trap. I think when we take too direct approach to a haiku, we sit down with the intent to write haiku, we really paint ourselves into a corner, you know? And in fact, yeah, maybe that's writer's block, period. You know, when you try to think before you simply write, put words on the page, it becomes kind of a trap. So just get out there and generate language and be playful. So you might go to the house one day and just say, I'm just going to focus on the color orange, you know, and see what I can do. Or a topic like baseball or automobiles, and you'll be surprised too that once you start with one kind of topic or something, it kind of spills over and other things will become kind of apparent to you. Okay. Any questions? I mean, any questions, thoughts?
This ties in really well with a session that I went to at the weekend that was called Paint Chart Poetry. And we started off with some of the names that you get on paint charts. I don't know if you get something similar in the States where you get all these little samples of colors and they all have the most incredible names. And just using that as a springboard. So it's sort of, I could imagine sitting and doing that with haiku.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Those paint chips, by the way, Angie, are wonderful springboard for poetry, aren't they? You know, just some of the language there is really, really wonderful.
Yeah, just something like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Side employment for poets, writing paint names.
Yeah. One of the favorite paint chips, the names I ever saw was called Mercutio Black, after Shakespeare.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, well, you could have some fun with that too, right? Okay, so very cool. So everybody, you know, fill out your list and see if you come up with some blue haiku. So any other thoughts? Should we go back to the workshop and just kind of plow through that a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
You guys still with me? I mean, nobody's late over yet. Okay, yeah. I came into school today, and there's a group of my colleagues. They have you know, meeting with some students, and one of the maintenance person asked me what I was doing at school on Saturday, and I said, well, I'm going to go up and do a haiku workshop. And he said, what's haiku? And I said, that's absolutely the wrong question to ask, you know, because I can make a long discussion out of a short poetic form. See me later, you know. The poor guy. Anyway, all right. So let's, any other thoughts, feelings, observations? What do you think? Okay, let me go to screen share again. Am I back up? Save this, all right. Can you all see my screen?
No. A minute ago.
Yeah, but you know, it's doing something wonky here. Okay, how about now?
Oh no, there's the bad one again.
Okay, so I'm going to do what you guys suggested earlier. I'm going to bring this up, stop share. All right, now let's try it again. I wonder why it does that. That's really odd. How about now?
Right.
Yes, good.
Okay, cool. All right. Now let me just move this down and go to slideshow. All right, let's see. There we go. Is that looking pretty good?
Brilliant.
Okay, good. Yeah. So this was the All right, this was the workshop we went through last week, where we kind of a month ago. Gee, I don't know, where we kind of left off, right? So let's just kind of go through this real quickly. I'm looking at the clock here. We've only got about 15 minutes left, and right now, okay, so here we are. Haiku, memory, imagination, here and now. Do you remember this? The little bird hopping across the parking lot, the juxtaposed images.
Mm.
We did that. How about this, right? Do you remember this slide? You know, the hotel rule, and then Michael McClintock's poem about the cat.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, powerful. And then we just kind of did a basic overview of the rules in English. Now, when I say rules, you know, you can define it however you like, but you know, what I found in that, you know, especially during the sabbatical year I had to study haiku, was there are some things that seem to hold true about English language haiku, you know, and most, if you look at many thousands of haiku like I have, you're going to see that generally haiku written in English have 10 or fewer words. You know, occasionally they'll spill over. So I would say to you, practice that economy of words, you know, and you'll be in the right sort of intervals or hit the target. No rhyme, although very occasionally you'll find a little bit of rhyme, but generally not. 11 to 13 syllables seems to be sort of the ideal number for haiku written in English. Most often in 3 lines. Avoid simile and direct metaphor, and a little alliteration is lovely. Okay, so we look, those are sort of the 4. Okay, we did all of these. So there was a whole bunch of poems in here. There's a drawing by one of the 7th graders. Haiku walks. And then did we do this one, haiku traditionally? So we made a distinction between what's called haiku and senru. Did we do that? Yeah. So in you know, sort of today's world, very few people make a big argument about it. You know, when I first started studying haiku back in the early 90s, people were more adamant about making the distinction that haiku had a nature image, a kigo or season word, and senru was devoid of that. That doesn't become an argument too much anymore. The 4 seasons in haiku, but there's a 5th season, and traditionally it is the new year, or you know, days either side of the new year. And then we looked at some poems that were kind of seasonal, and I'm going to plow through these real quickly. I'll just pause for a minute so you can see them. So isn't this one interesting? Wasn't there one in the workshop about purple? It was eating purple what, blueberries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just noticed that. Yeah, so we have purple tongues, which is probably popsicles, and somebody else was getting a purple tongue with blueberries. One of my favorite New Year haiku, which to me is certainly an observation, keenly perceived, but it's sort of an extended metaphor, I think. The sense of smell is one that's often overlooked in our haiku. And then senru, which is technically a haiku-like poem, but not dependent on a seasonal reference or kigo. I really like this poem. I think it
Silhouettes on the Shade.
Mm-hmm. What's that, Henry?
That poem you just told me about, you liked about the bike in the yard, and my friend's bike in her yard. Silhouettes on the Shade is the same theme.
Mm-hmm. Silhouettes on the Shade, sure. Yeah. So give me just a word or a phrase for the theme. What do you think the theme is? Because that brings up an interesting discussion in my mind.
Betrayal.
Okay. So yeah. So you could start with something as abstract as betrayal. Start with a theme. You know, so one of the things we do with the kids is we look at some of the themes in literature, coming of age, loss of innocence. You could say betrayal, and write a poem to a theme. But then once you start with the abstraction, like betrayal or loss of innocence or coming of age, show that a very concrete way, you know, and yeah. I just talked to Stanford Forestry last week about those submarines they used to put in the bottom of the cereal box. They're
That's great.
little gray jobbers, and you put baking soda in them, and you could float them in the bathtub, and eventually they would surface and then go back down. They're worth a fortune now. Try to buy one on eBay. You pay a pretty price, you know. I think they decided that they were too much of a choking hazard and stopped doing it. This poem always disarmed me.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there it is again.
There it is
The
again.
crayon.
Yeah, the blue crayon, right? This one, I always get a chuckle out of this one. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about, I won't get into this. This is another whole workshop, you know, when we look at work and translation. But I think, did I explain just sort of very briefly in our first workshop, why not 17 in English? You know, the whole idea of brevity and one breathness and all of that. Yeah. So, you know, got tons of stuff. This, Henry, you're actually on here. You've got a translation there. That's one of yours.
Really?
And let's see, a wonderful little book you can get is The Narrow Road to the Deep North, Basho's travel journal.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested, there's several translations. This is worth reading because I think really the Narrow Road to the Deep North. That's when Basho left Edo or Tokyo, and he went on his sort of sojourn into the mountainous region in Japan. Well, it's all mountainous, and he was journaling. But that's where I think, you know, we can kind of trace maybe the genesis of haiku back to some of his journaling and observations. The best translation of this little book, and it's really beautifully written, is by a guy named Sam Hamill. Hammel, I think is how you spell his name. I had the book here last week and I took it home, but it's worth reading. You know, it's okay. See if I can get this to work again. Okay. This is very important for your poem. So even though we want to be mindful, you know, syllables and cut, you know, extra language whenever we can, or syllables when we can, don't skip articles in your poems, because the haiku is supposed to feel conversational, you know, conversational, and so with our articles in our speech, it sounds stilted or choppy or incomplete. And you'd be surprised. One of the revision exercises that I would do, or with my own, or I have the kids do, is play around with definite and indefinite articles in different combinations, because the poem does change, you know, depending on you know, and often in English language haiku, you'll find poems with a couple of articles, oftentimes, and it's nice to see, you know, what the different combinations can be. Okay, did we do this one? Yeah, we did. Frozen Windblown Prairie. Did we do this?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So what this exercise was simply, when you go out and about, especially if you're on a haiku walk, you don't have to try to write the haiku right then and there, but just get down as much of the, you know, what's going on around you, much of the information as you can by way of observation, and get it all down on the page, and then sort of go back and sculpt it. Or, you know, I like to think of it as like topiary, right? You got an overgrown shrub, and you go back and you just kind of, you know, snip and shape it as you please. Okay. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, well, I'm going to plow ahead here because, all right, here we go. I don't know if we got this far last time. In so short a form as haiku, you must get right to the point and show the particular thing that captured your attention. Okay, the one among the many, the close-up, the general scene, the last, the first, the opposite. So let's take a look at just a few poems here that I think are pretty good. And feel free to jump in. I mean, I'm going to just go through these quickly because I want to get to this revision phase today. And if you want to say something about these poems, please do. If you,
yeah, I'll say a poem that I wrote. You mentioned I translated one of mine. There's one that was translated into Japanese, actually at Basho's visitor center. Basho's hut, the sound of water, no frog.
Oh, do it. Henry, say it again, please.
Basho's hut, the sound of water, no frog.
Oh, yeah.
There's a stream that runs by it, and you can hear the water all the time. So I just related to his famous poem.
Fantastic.
The ancient pond, frog jumps in, sound of water.
Sound of water, sure.
One of 100 possible interpretations.
Yeah. I think maybe we'll have everybody should write one of those. Some interpretation of that moment, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Now you have to just refresh my memory. I've got two workshops kind of going on in my head at the same time, and I can't remember where exactly I left off with the one at the folk school. But did we look at this? Haiku being written in present tense, and Emily Cornish's poem here. So did I tell you the story behind this real quickly? Did I?
Don't think you did.
Well, so when the kids came back, so Emily Cornish is probably 40 now. And this was very, very early on when the kids came back to school. That was back in the day. What did you do for your summer vacation? And the first thing they said is, you're not going to make us write about our summer vacation, are you? And I said, heavens, no. Actually, I said, hell no. And then that got their attention, right? I said, but I do want you, now they had a little bit of haiku, the previous year. And I said, but I do want you to write a haiku to let me know, let us know how you know summer is over. It's done. You're back at school. So Emily wrote, summer cottage, the bullfrog slips my grasp. And what she said about it was, well, that's her way of showing that it's gone, She explained, out catching frogs off the dock. And I love the tactile nature of that, the slipperiness of the frog, something you desperately want to hold on to. And she actually, Henry and Robin, she won a Virgilio Award back in the, early 2000s with this.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, for anyone on the call who has students entering, the deadline is coming up on, I believe, the 22nd. One more week to the deadline.
March 22nd. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's another student. A winter night, the cracks in the floorboards widen. You ask kids, many of us like to write kind of abstractly. And I think, of course, haiku is begging us to do just the opposite. So Cindy she had immigrated here. Actually, she was a refugee from Southeast Asia and didn't know English when she came. She was a 9th grader and she learned it in short order. And she wrote about leaving Southeast Asia, leaving Vietnam. And her poem, Saying Goodbye, the River Flowing One Way. And to hear her explain that, she just said, well, is it a metaphor? And I said, people might interpret it as such, but you can see that, right? Isn't that a beautiful poem by a 9th grade kid who wondered if she'd ever see her homeland again?
Mm.
Hannah was also a refugee from Palestine. And there's a chilling, no pun intended, story behind this one too. But I asked the kids, how could you show, kind of capture your life experience in haiku, but be very concrete about it. And this, I won't tell you the whole story here, but this story had to do with one of her 3 sisters being put out of the house because she dated an American boy. And the family was very, very strict and very clear with the girls, with the daughters, that that's one thing they weren't to do. I probably mentioned it to you, if you get to Rochester, New York, there are one place you need to visit. I'll take the George Eastman House out of it, although that's a wonderful place if you like photography and so on. and the whole history of Eastman Kodak. But in Rochester, New York, there's a wonderful cemetery called Mount Hope Cemetery, and it's a bunch of glacial moraine, eskers, and so on. And at Mount Hope Cemetery, within a stone's throw, Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony are buried. And I mean, literally within a stone's throw. You have two of these most important people in our history. And it was close to the school at which I worked, and we would go over. The other thing I'll tell you very briefly is the cemetery has a bunch of old oaks, and every year crows by the hundreds of thousands roost there in the winter. It's been an annual event for forever. And I would walk the kids over, and they were enamored by the tens of thousands of crows in the trees. And Alexa, I looked over, and she was doing this. She was not looking up in the tree. She was looking at the hillside, and she was doing this. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "The one among the many," which was one of the sort of things we talked about with haiku. She found that, you know, the one gravestone, the one headstone with the crow on it.
I'd like to chime in here with a little thing about stone's throw. Nick Virgilio is buried a stone's throw from Walt Whitman's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I've been there. That's absolutely wonderful too. Yeah, a wonderful place to walk and to ponder.
It is a beautiful spot.
It is. So these kids were all ninth grade. Another wonderful poem. And so I will, I'm going to move on. I can show you just so many more student haiku. I'll go quickly. I do want to, I suppose I mentioned this one, right? But this was an example. When we get to revision, one of the things we'll talk about is word and line order of your poems. Sometimes it can be improved simply by, so this poem, when Addison Owen wrote it, it was written of the wind through the teeth of the jack-o'-lantern. This is original. And what I would say is sometimes a sentence masquerades as a haiku. Now, I think we talked about the fact that in English language, well, in Japanese too, haiku is a two-part poem, often a fragment and phrase. And it's the juxtaposition of the parts that creates sort of the tension of the poem. So, and he said, well, what can I do? And I think one of his classmates said, well, there's an easy fix. Just switch the lines up. So rather than the wind through the teeth of the jack-o'-lantern, it was through the teeth of the jack-o'-lantern, the wind. And that last, so in a well-crafted haiku, the last line is kind of like the aha moment, the punchline, the I get it, you know. If you were to think about it almost, even though haiku is not narrative, if you were to think about it narratively a little bit, often a haiku is someone is somewhere. You know, there could be you, it could be something is happening. And then the last line is someone learns something. And that learning is often we the reader, you know, we learn something. I like that kind of continuum. Someone is somewhere, something happens, someone learns something. Mm-hmm. You guys can jump in anytime to stop me. If I'm going too fast or, you know. So I love this one. Well, I love just the feeding thread. Okay, now we're going to get. I will say that the Winter Dusk poem is one of my favorite student haiku ever written. And that was, let's see, how old was Olivia? She was 14. Winter dusk, the crows clotting the wind. So what's the $1 million word there?
Clotting.
Clotting makes the whole poem. Yep.
Yeah. So as a haiku poet, when we look at revision again, one of the things we'll go back and we'll talk about the necessity for strong verbs. You know, strong verbs are really can make or break a poem.
A tutor I knew used to refer to that as a verb punching above its weight. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Say
brilliant.
Yes, say it again, Angeli.
Punching above its weight,
I love it.
as a boxer would punch above his weight.
Yeah.
So he might be a featherweight, but he punches like a heavyweight.
Yeah.
So a verb that punches above its weight is just something that carries far more intensity and meaning than perhaps it does on first glance.
Yeah. So I would say that word clotting is a verb that's punched above its weight. I mean, just, the whole idea, anyway. Beautiful moment, napping cat, her heart beating in mine. And there we go. All right. So these are some other ones. Oh, these two were Victoria winners a few years back. Power outage, my imagination comes to life. And sowing the sky to see the horizon. By the way, I'll say one other thing about haiku, and I don't want to engender this or in a way that is forced. But what I'm finding is, just generally speaking, and maybe I shouldn't even say this, young, guys, right? Anyway, boys will write haiku in a way that they might not necessarily jump into other forms of poetry, which acts as a springboard for them too. Anyway, I'll shut up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it got to be, I still think, we have a certain, well, I'm going to editorialize now, but we have a certain definition or a way in which we still far too often bring up young men and the idea of poetry, but never mind, I'll just tell you that they write good haiku. Anyway, all right, let's move on here. The Simpsons actually did a haiku Simpson show. I think that's Bart, right? One of the two most important elements in haiku literature, important images, is the moon. So I would encourage you all to write a haiku about the moon. Although millions have been written, you can probably still write a new one. So haiku, moon, I think, is the second most written about topic in Japanese haiku. The second, anybody know what the first one is?
Cherry blossoms.
Yeah, you got it.
That's good.
That's 3. Yeah, moon.
I was going to say the frog.
Yeah, that's up there too, but no, it's a flower.
Oh, okay.
Anybody want to guess?
Chrysanthemum.
Yes, there it is. I don't get it, but yeah, apparently, it's the most written about topic in Japanese haiku.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And here's some moon haiku. So next time you're out looking at the moon, and this is a beautiful poem. I think John Wills is one of the originals, isn't he? I mean, his poems go back. Real field throbbing with insects, the summer moon. Beautiful. Let's see here. So if you write a moon haiku, if you just use the word moon in and of itself, it's assumed to be the harvest moon, the first full moon after the first killing frost. So you might want to use a modifier for your moon haiku. And there's all sorts of them. By the way, I don't have that in this workshop, but there are a whole bunch of different words that Native Americans use to describe the full moon of each month. And I've encountered those in haiku. So how many of you have ever seen a haiku with the word hunger moon?
I wrote one.
Yeah, okay, hunger moon.
Let's see. I can tell you what it is too.
Let's hear it, Henry.
I'm going to recall because I can't use my phone to look it up, but between saying goodbye to fat, and that's not how it went, but anyway, hunger moon falls between Fat Tuesday and the first greens. So I should look it up. I will.
Yeah. Well, so my understanding of hunger moon in most Native American stories is the full moon of February, of the month of February. And of course it would make sense, you know, the things, the stores, the things they put away for the winter are, you know, depleted. You know, the landscape is sort of barren, especially if you're living up north. You know, for example, the full moon, I think for March is Sap moon, you know, so there's a
I
moon.
found it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but could you read it for me?
Okay. Between chewing fat and finding eggs, hunger moon.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. References to, right, the whole Lenten season and
Mhm.
Easter. Excellent.
I think there's a name for every moon through the year. So January is a wolf moon and February is a snow moon and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, it changes from tribe to tribe, but there are some consistencies across the board. So if you want to write about a moon, you know, wolf moon is a wonderful, you know, if you January sort of Kigo, wolf moon, and you can use those words and phrases in your haiku. Don't, you know, certainly in your haiku, you can write about holidays. I really like this one. A Valentine's card from an old lover. Icicles drip from the eaves.
Oh,
Oh,
I missed that one.
that's really deadly. That's so good.
yeah. When I show that one to the kids, they just say, "Why?" You know, what I do, I get into a little science lesson about, you know, how heat rises, and we leave it at that. You know, and you know how the transfer of heat, and anyway.
Oh God. Yes.
Yeah, but I love it, so I'm not making it go away. Here's another Valentine's one. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yes, it is.
Holidays. Yeah, more holidays. Halloween party. After a few drinks, the masks come off.
Too bad. That's what happens.
Yeah. A dry leaf. That's my scratches along the sidewalk. All Souls Day. So you can use holidays. Let me just see another one. Oh, here's some Veterans Day. A few red leaves linger in the trees.
Mm.
New Year's morning, starting the fire with last night's coals. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So we talked early on about look for images either comparative or contrasting. So here's some comparative quality haiku. Storm clouds, water darkens around the tea bag. And some dimes among the pennies, speckled carp, which I think is wonderful. So I really like the first one. It's sort of it's probably something I'd experienced, and you just didn't have the wherewithal to write it. You know, chilly night, warmth from the takeout bag.
Every once in a while, there's something that I experience that I know has a haiku in it, and I just can't get it. Like right now, I've been eating my way through a box of particularly tart kumquats, and I keep eating them because they're so sweet when you get a sweet one, and there's such a burst of bitter and sweet at the same time when you don't. And there are people like that. And I know there's a haiku in there somewhere, but I haven't got it yet. It just keeps circling me.
Yeah. So right away, I'm listening. To my ear, that line you just said, the burst of bitter and sweet, is probably a part of that poem.
It's true. It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's implicit, but it's also part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's so sensory. I can almost taste that. You know, I can almost, my mouth tingled, you know, something, you know, something.
Yeah, built-in alliteration there too with kumquat.
Yeah. I like the sound imagery in this other one, winter stillness, the sound of branches breaking.
Branches breaking.
Yeah. So there's a part of the speech called a gerund. So a gerund is a verb that kind of acts like a noun, you know, a verb with an ing, and you can have fun with those. Spring wind teaching a child to whistle. You know, is it the wind? Is it, you know, I just, it's kind of nice. Here's a good one to do, is think about when you structure your haiku. I'm kind of doing this, is think about them structurally often as an inverted pyramid where, set the scene, someone is somewhere, and then the action in the middle, something happens, and then narrow it down to the learning something. So the whole sky in a wide field of flowers. So I go sky, field of flowers, one tulip. So it's a perfect example of structurally how that poem kind of narrows, right, to a particular focus. But I've also seen some haiku that go the other way. They start with a particular and then open up the scene. So you can be funny or humorous. This first one, it always disarms me. Headstone, a dash between the ears. Yeah. So for it to work as a haiku, it has to be literal. It has to be concrete. So what's the dash?
The lifetime.
Well, what is it? What is it?
And
what is
on the
it?
tombstone, it's the hyphen. It's the dash between the years. But
It's the dash. Yeah, the birth and the death. The dash is literally there. You've got to be able to, say, well, it's concrete. It's there, literally in concrete or stone. But then it kind of spills over and becomes, a metaphor, I guess.
Tom, I have a question on that. So can a dash be like running fast? So, we waste a lot of time and we just don't see things. We're just dashing through the years and boom, they're gone.
And so, Barry, that's how this poem works so well on two levels. Exactly. The word, we're thinking it's a dash, just like you described, between the years. Gone.
great.
But to work as a haiku, you've got to say, is it a concrete image? Does it exist? Can I observe it through the senses first and foremost? So if I say to you, well, I've my life feels so I've dashed between the years, that's sort of an abstraction, with the word dash. So literally, as Robin said, it's that hyphen between on the headstone, on the dash, between the birth and the death. So it's literally a dash between the years, but then it spills over to taking the meaning that probably strikes us all pretty quickly. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah, it's a great reminder, isn't it? Winter night, soda machine rejects my coin. I think that's pretty funny. Or warm night.
There's one. At my age, it's one haiku moment after another.
Oh. Did you write that?
I wrote that for you, Tom.
Did you just write that now?
Hmm?
You just write that?
Not just this minute, but I remember it. I wrote it about a week ago, actually. I mean, maybe because of our workshop, I wrote it,
I think I'm going to put that on my headstone.
You should.
Did I have your permission?
Yes, you may do that.
You're going to have a little competition because Stanford Forrester said that I can use one of his on my headstone.
Oh, nice.
All right, I'll send you.
If you're opposed to like one bad word, put your fingers in your ears now, because I'm going to tell you the one Stanford said I could use.
Yeah.
John, is this? Can I say the S word?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Henry. So here's Stanford Forrester. I begged him, and he said, "Yeah, take it. Dog shit or me, the fly doesn't care." Yeah, and then what's yours, Henry?
My age, it's one haiku moment after another.
I love it. At my age, one haiku moment after another. That is great. Oh my, I'm writing that one down. Yeah, so John Stevenson, who's, in my estimation, one of the most accomplished poets writing in English language, has a whole bunch of haiku that end in question marks, which is you can do that. Fireflies, could I still catch one?
I like that. Yeah.
Structurally, they work. There's two parts to these poems. They fit all the other parameters. A hard rain. What cloud could have held it? You know? You can play around with question marks. You mentioned earlier proper nouns, place names. Yeah, you know, so if you've got a favorite place, you know, Old Faithful, the crowd arrives right on time. Isn't that wonderful? You know, so Bar Harbor, Mirror Lake. You know, see if you can take a place that's significant to you and may resonate with others. There are three sort of directions to go with haiku, especially Japanese haiku poets do this, Sabi, Wabi, and Yugen. Loneliness, austere beauty, and I can't read it because you guys are in front of it. Let's see, and mystery. And I think all of these kind of capture those qualities. Alone on my brother's property, autumn wind. A bare ball burning in the barn, winter fields. And a lone boxcar stands on a prairie siding, autumn evening. Boy, that one just feels pretty lonely and mysterious to me. All right.
There was another prompt that was the basis for this haiku workshop with Michael Dillon Welsh recently. It was song names from Fleetwood Mac. Did you happen to run across that?
I haven't, but I'd love to see it. Yeah, I like Fleetwood Mac a lot. So
here's one I wrote that I gotta tell you. Undone. Each button and hook. Stairway to heaven.
Oh. That's good.
That's bad.
Oh, that's wonderful. Haiku and metaphor. A metaphor would be using a simile type of metaphor. On a bare branch, autumn dust settles like a crow. And then, but you can have implied metaphor in haiku. On a bare branch, a crow settles, autumn dusk. I'd almost say autumn dusk. I'm not messing with whoever translated. I'd almost put autumn dusk on the first line, but anyway. So here are these things you're going to find if you subscribe to any of the haiku journals online or in print. Monoku or non-normative haiku, the one-liners. I think they're tough to pull off, but I think these are several good ones. My head in the clouds and the lake. Between statues, the rest of history. I like the day now burnt out fireflies. You can play around with those. This is the one that I skipped over with blue. This one's interesting. So take a minute and tell me, where's the fly in this one? Against the blue fly flies against the pane. There's a logic to it, and you have to, I think, spend a little time. Barry, you're shaking your head. Where's the fly?
Oh, against the blue fly flies against the pane. Yeah, what's the question? Where's the fly?
Why?
The fly is inside against the sky vision through the glass.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The fly is inside, and you know how insects, if they're in a darkened room, they try to fly to the window to get out. You know, and not in the darkened room, but they fly to the light. So I hear the tapping of the fly against the pane in this poem, and it's never even said. I see that fly just kind of tapping the window, trying, repeatedly to get out and escape the blue,
Okay.
This one, you have to imagine this one. Cor van den Heuvel, who Henry mentioned, there are people who argue about this, actually fight about it. I've seen people argue and get like really mean to each other, about it's not a haiku, and someone else would say, well, sure it is. So this would appear, the word tundra would be just typed, a regular, on the page, on a white page of paper, the word tundra in the middle of the page. In the middle of the word Chandra. Now, my wife tells me don't toot your horn, but I will tell you I won a innovative haiku contest with this one, and I actually emailed Cor van den Heuvel and I said, can I do a sort of a parody or a rewrite of your Tundra haiku? And he said, oh, absolutely, he'd be delighted. So for the contest, I got a green sheet of paper and then spelled the word Tundra, tiny white letters, and put it in the middle of the page. and dang, you know, right? Because what's
Yeah.
happening in Thunder, right? And, yeah. I think I won $5 anyway. All right. This one's kind of interesting. A bit of irony. In the woodpile, the broken axe handle.
The woodpile one.
Very good.
Yeah. This one I really like between, I think, did you say that poet's name Goethe? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Between Goethe and Graves, summer shelf dust. What's missing?
Oh,
If you what would go in that and sign? Another book, wouldn't it?
it's something G.
Something G between GO and GR. Isn't that?
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, L.A. Davidson, who I never had the opportunity to meet, she passed away a number of years ago. This is a poem you'll find anthologized a lot, and I'm still trying to understand it. So if anybody can help me here, I'm intrigued, but I don't know that it hasn't quite clicked yet.
Beyond stars, beyond stars. Well, no, oh, that's really something.
Do you, Henry? Do you get? I mean, can you explain it to me, or? I mean, what is it? It works. I don't. Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't seem like it's literal, but beyond the sun is the universe full of stars, but you can't see them both at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just took it as the vastness that as you parse this, there is something beyond the stars, beyond another star beyond it. It almost has that sense. You know, when you look at a book cover of a kid reading a book, and on the book cover is a picture of a kid reading on the book, and on the book cover is that picture. In my mind, this creates that echo that just says infinity.
Infinity. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I sort of read it as the first being the beyond, the great out there, the great vastness. And then I saw stars beyond a star. And in the same way as you can't see the stars in the sky when you've got street lamps between you and the sky, that sort of light pollution. I just get that impression of there being a great beyond that's full of stars, plural, beyond a star, singular. It's interesting the way that star is shifted across as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that intrigues me about it, and I just keep coming back to it, thinking maybe that's it. Maybe just what you're saying. It's just sort of to imply the vastness of something of the heavens. Let's see here. This is a Nick Virgilio one. This is really clever. Some people would argue that it's not haiku, but what two words? And isn't it an interesting juxtaposition of words?
Yeah.
Fossil and silence. Very cool. And my fingerprints on the dragonfly in amber. Yeah. So we're going to get to the revision thing. I think we got about 10 minutes, so let's just keep going here. Simple, uncomplicated images, common language, objective presentation, musical. So Pamela Miller-Ness, who is a former president of the Haiku Society of America, I don't have the essay, but she wrote a piece on the musicality of haiku and how it should really appeal to the ear. Okay, so let's go through this quickly. Here are some things that I apply to my own writing and that I ask the kids to do. The first time you read the work, you are reading to discover what you still need to write about. What ideas, facts did you miss in writing the first time? So I think there's a benefit to not only writing it all down, getting as much as you can, but trying to write every haiku several different ways right from the start. Kind of look at it from all angles. I think sometimes we get too wedded to an idea too early on, and don't make room for other possibilities. Does your haiku say what you want it to say? Here's a great prompt. Would you understand what you meant if you were not the writer?
Uh,
I know exactly what I mean, but will anybody else? Are you assuming everyone will know what you're talking about? Okay.
Right. Is there enough context in it?
Yeah. Could your images be presented in a better order, a more effective order? I would absolutely encourage you with your haiku to switch word order, switch line order, to write the poem several different ways until that order seems to be cool. Remove all modifiers and prepositional phrases from your poem to get to the main subject, verb, object, heart of the poem. So, kind of strip it down, to the bare minimum. What did Angie say about look at the verb that, punches up a weight class? Did I say that right, Angie? The verb to punch,
A verb that punches above its weight.
Above its weight class, yeah. Then one by one, reinsert modifiers and prepositional phrases, checking at each step that the addition is necessary. Okay, I think that's very useful. Ask yourself, now this is really who will be reading your poem. Pretend you are the reader. If you are someone who likes to submit to journals, it is really useful to get to know particular editors. Don't hesitate to write to them, not so much anymore, because I don't want to overstay my welcome. But when I was first writing haiku, when I sent submissions in, I would ask the editor, I would say, I always, comments and criticism are welcome. And more often than not, editors would write back. And, and sometimes very, very interesting comments. I'll tell you one quick one here. One of the first, early on when I was writing haiku, Jim Kashian, whose poems you've seen, was the editor of a wonderful journal called South by Southeast. And this was back before submitting online. You had to send a paper copy. So I sent him a poem, a haiku, and I got the rejection slip, but I had a handwritten reply. But his handwritten reply was 2 words. And I'm going to tell you what they were because it was the most brilliant reply he could have given me. Interesting failure.
Oh, that's great words, actually. That's so interesting. Yeah.
That is very interesting. Jim Casey, he didn't, normally you just get the rejection letter, sort of a form letter. His rejection was, rejection slip, but interesting failure, Jim. Interesting failure. And I knew immediately what I had. If I were to focus simply on the word failure, I would have torn it up and thrown it in the garbage. But I said, well, interesting. So I wrote back to him, dear Mr. Kashian, if you have time, would you tell me more? To this day, I still have the 2-page reply he wrote me, handwritten. And on occasions when I see him, I will bring this up to him. And he rejected the poem because of what he felt was a misuse of articles the and a. That was it in a nutshell. And he ended up writing me almost 2 pages about articles in haiku. So who will be reading your poem? Take time to get to know editors. Let's just finish here. Billy Collins. Can somebody read that one for me? My voice is giving up. Somebody try that? Can I get a reader?
Sure. Poet Billy Collins writes, the best haiku contain a moment of time caught in the amber of the poet's attention and the poem's words. It's the only genre fully devoted to setting down a simple observation in the here and now so as to produce in the reader a little gasp. Oh, I love that last phrase, a little gasp. Yep.
That's the aha, the little gasp. Then I would go on and so I just Henry and Robin, just so you know, because I am as a classroom teacher indebted to and grateful to the Virgilio Association. giving the kids the opportunity every year to write and submit their work. It's really, for me, it's sort of the highlight of my year. And so we always spend time looking at Nick Virgilio's poems. And I teach them about who Nick Virgilio was and tell the story as best I know it. But let's look in our closing minutes for today. Let's look at a few of Nick Virgilio's poems, to honor the person who this workshop wouldn't be possible had he not set the tone. So heat before the storm, a fly disturbs the quiet of the empty store. Town barber pole stops turning, autumn nightfall. Beautiful. No, I think a lot of his poems, and Robin and Henry, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he has a number of poems that were dedicated to, I think, his older brother who died in Vietnam.
Yes.
Yeah.
His younger brother, Tony,
Larry.
he took me around and showed me which door the wreath blew on and which barber pole was stopped turning, and the stories behind it. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Very autobiographical, but the poems stand. You wouldn't have to know the poet, but knowing something about his life really gives these a new layer. My dead brother, hearing his laughter and my laughter. This is one of his more famous ones, isn't it? It shows up in many anthologies. I really like this one a lot. The first snowfall down the cellar staircase, my father calls. Junkyard dog in the shadow of the shack, the heat.
I love this one.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. So I think, if I look at Nick Virgilio's poems, I think early on he was trying, or at least he was still adhering somewhat to the 575 syllable count. And I think, he kind of, tell me if I'm right, he more or less broke from that after a while.
Yeah.
Where he began to kind of practice what we're talking about here a little bit. Maybe I can be more economical with my words. And this one is, I think, maybe his most famous poem, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I have a little story about that. The person who translated that poem and actually gave it its imprimatur was the Crown Prince, now the Emperor Emeritus of Japan, Akihito. And a friend of mine's great aunt taught the Crown Prince English.
Wow.
What are the odds?
What are the chances? I know, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So if you want it on your haiku path, little known, you can get this book on eBay at a really good price. Richard Wright's haiku, and not too many people know this. After he wrote Black Boy and Native Son when he left the United States and went and lived in France during the last years of his life. He turned to haiku, and his book is quite amazing, And I think you'll find that this was, a man of color writing about often about his disappointment, in his experience in the United States and moving to France to escape racism. It's a really good book. So, in an old woodshed, the long points of icicles are sharpening in the wind. This one here, entering my town in a heavy fall of snow, I feel a stranger. So Richard Wright's haiku, it's very much worth looking at. And then the other person who early on was writing was Jack Kerouac. And there's a book called Kerouac's Haikus. Western haiku is simply to say a lot in 3 short lines in any Western language. Above all, a haiku must be very simple and free from all poetic trickery and make a little picture. I think he had it. I mean,
he just turned 99 this month.
Wow. Yeah. I think he among the sort of the beat poets in that group, he kind of got the haiku thing pretty easy early on.
Yeah, a couple of others too. Yeah, Michael McClure.
Michael McClure, yeah.
And Gary Snyder.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very cool. And so some of the places, if you resources that I would go to, a modern haiku, journal, I think is among the best out there. For both essays and top quality haiku from around the world. Haiku Society of America. If you're not a member, I think it's worth joining. Absolutely. Jim Kasian, this is free. So if you write down the Haiku Foundation, it's online, and you will find an unbelievable resource there. For haiku, and you can actually get an app on your telephone, on your iPhone or whatever you have, and you can bring up a haiku a day. Through the Haiku Foundation. And then, of course, the Nicholas Virgilio Haiku Association is a wonderful resource as well. So, boy, if timing is everything.
We just hit it exactly on the nose. That's just right.
Well, I guess we could make that happen. I could go another couple hours, but I'm sure you're all you're right.
How about the walk on the beach? Come on, Tom.
What's that?
I said, how about the walk on the beach?
Well, and I hope, let's see, who was it? Angie, did you have your lunch or your dinner?
I abandoned it.
Oh dear.
Put it on one side and focused on this. So
what is it about? Is it about 9 p.m. where you are?
8 o'clock. 8.
Well, that's not too bad. I'd be in bed, but you're still looking pretty, with it. That's good.
I've got a microwave, it'll heat.
Okay, let's see. So you can go out on the beach, you can have your dinner. Somebody else gave up something important too. I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah.
The birthday poem.
The birthday poem.
Oh yes, you've got to go do. Hopefully, you're inspired enough now to write that.
Is it?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I have a peony poem for you actually. Peony, ellipsis. Ants working, head down.
Oh.
I don't know. I never thought it was much, but somebody posted it on a door in Camden.
Yeah.
So it lives.
So Barry, your friend is turning 70.
Right.
What date?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
Pi Day. 3.14.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I work at the Pi Day school, and our symbol is the pi sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and it's Albert Einstein's birthday. So
yeah, very cool. Very cool. Well, everyone, this is I've had a good time, so I guess.
Oh, me too. Yeah, this was
Thank you
marvelous.
for spending your Saturday with us. Really.
Oh, anytime.
Quite wonderful.
John and I would talk. I mean, there's other stuff. If anybody, you can let Virgilio, Sean know. There's we could do something around narrative. There's a form called Haibun, and there's haiku associated with it. But there's so many different directions to go, with this, that it's hard to even do it in a couple hours,
You want to do a third? You want to do a third one?
Well, I'd be interested, why don't you and I talk? What we would do, this would be very much less blah, blah, blah on my part, but what we would do is I would send you all, I would send you a prompt and you would do some focused free writing. Okay, I give you a series of prompts and you'd pick, and then we'd go into it with the notion that, now we didn't get to your haiku today. Oh my gosh, you all wrote some.
Yeah.
What we should do is the next workshop then, since we talked a little bit about revision stuff, is it should be literally the workshopping of your work, and then we could do some narrative writing. I'll send you a prompt ahead of time, and we could do that pointing activity. I mean, that would be fun. And what I would have you do though is, anybody that's on board, send me, with your name, send me your haiku in advance so I can type it all up. And then we can bring it up, and we can do just what I would do in the classroom, is do some workshopping of the poems. So if everybody sent maybe 3 to 5 haiku that you'd want to workshop, That would work. And then we could do the narrative thing. I'll send you, when I get you those, I'll send you a prompt and you can do some narrative writing, and we can do the pointing activity to see how we can coax haiku out of narrative.
Sounds
How
good.
about YouTube haiku? Let's see.
How about-
Kumquat. Sour or sweet? Oh,
So, Sean, how do you want to do this? You want to have folks get in touch with you to see who wants to be on board, or?
Yeah. Do you want me to invite more people? Do you want me to like promote it this time? Because the second for this one, I didn't really, because I thought we were just gonna have the same people as last time. But if you want more people in the workshop, you can get more people.
Well, I think that would almost be prohibitive. So I'm thinking I would say for a workshop, in order to do it, so everybody, we get everybody on board, you'd want to keep it 6 to 8 people.
Mhm.
We've got minus you and me. We've got 8 people. So yeah, we could just keep it these people.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I'm going to put some stuff in there.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm going to put my own haiku in there. Then that's 10 people.
Oh, great.
Great.
Then we could. I wrote like
We-
5 haiku while this entire thing happened. So, or
This is
more.
great, and we'll workshop them together. That sounds like such
Yeah.
fun.
So what we'll
Yep.
do is if you send them, so Sean, you want everybody to send things to you, or should you send them directly to me? Why don't you send them directly
Whatever.
to me?
Sure, if that works easier for you. Yeah, if everybody has your email, I mean, we'll put it in the chat. Put your email in the chat.
Yeah. Do you want to type it in for me?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh no. I can make you? Do I have to make you? Oh no, you can put it in. Here, let me do it. I'll put it in the chat right now.
Put your email address in the chat just in case some people in here don't have it, and we will all send you our homework. You want to do this again like a month from now, like sometime in April?
So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do, let me just see. Well, I can't. I've got Rob. I'm not figuring out how to include everybody in the chat here.
You got to
I've got
click
Rob.
everyone. You got to go to send to everyone at the bottom
Okay,
there.
Well, okay, at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah.
I don't even see that.
Okay, just say out loud what your email address is. I'll write it out.
Okay, right. Let's do T as in Tom. Last painting, painting. So T painting 51 at gmail.com. So Barry, your friend was born in 1951.
Yes. Oh, is that you too?
Yeah, I got a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks.
I know how old you are.
Oh, that was quick arithmetic. Oh, wait a minute.
21, 51, Yahoo.
All right. Did you guys get that email, or it didn't come up, did it?
Yep.
I just put it in the chat.
Okay, so it's tpainting51 at gmail.com. So what you do, in the subject line, put Virgilio workshop.
Okay.
So I know.
Okay.
So why don't you send everybody from 3 to 5 of your haiku that you'd like to workshop. Make sure you've got your name on there. And what I'll do, then I'll put together a selection, and then when we workshop them, we'll do it anonymously. Now we can all later, and we'll bring them up, and we'll actually walk through this workshop, and we'll talk about them and so on. And then when I get everybody who's on board, I'm going to send you a writing prompt, and we'll do some little bit of narrative writing. And if there's time, we'll practice the pointing activity, which I think you'll find engaging. I mean, it's a really cool way to kind of grab haiku and poetry in general.
Wonderful.
Okay? So let me see, Thomas, do you think you'll attend?
Absolutely.
Okay, how about you, Dawn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I definitely will.
Good. How about Marcia? Do you think you'll be on board? So
Yeah.
yes. Okay, Robin, we got, and I know
Yep,
Sean.
I'm in. Yep.
And do you think you'll do it? Yeah. Barry, I hope. Okay.
Definitely. Yes. Yes.
Marilyn, do you think you something you'd be
Yes.
doing? Okay.
Yes.
And then Henry. So I think we've got a nice group right here.
Yeah.
Yep. We got a crew.
I
Right.
think what do you want to do? April 10th, April 17th, another
Well,
Saturday.
Let me just look at my calendar real quickly.
Check for Easter in there somewhere.
Yeah.
National Poetry Month.
Yeah, I can't do the 10th. I could do April 17th.
I think we're good for that.
I'll be out of town April 10th, you know, unless there's restrictions, you know, for travel, but the 17th work for everybody?
That's good. Yeah,
And
sure.
Same time as this one.
Yes, let's do April 17th, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern,
Yes.
Eastern Standard Time.
1 to 3 works well for me.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's in my calendar.
Cool.
Eastern
All right.
Daylight
I'll look forward to
Time.
get your poems, and we'll have some fun. Just what we didn't get to today, and it'll give everybody a chance maybe to, you know, write some blue haiku or see if you can come up with some more between now and then.
Good idea. Okay.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
everyone.
much.
All right.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
day.
The
Thank
afternoon
you.
with y'all. Okay, see you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
John, stick around for just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you. That I thought that, you know, that's good. Hey, Henry.
I just got a sweet persimmon or kumquat.
Oh, good one. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll send you that poem, Tom.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
Bye.
Henry. Oh,
Bye-bye.
yeah. And then when I get Marilyn's email address, I'll send her a prize for guessing the 15 blues on the Crayola thing.
Wow. Yeah. That was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. And then
Fine.
Sean, between now and then, if you get a chance to get over to your office and if you see that you've got room for some books,
Yeah,
I'll just
good.
box some stuff up and you can use them for that poets group or something.
Yeah. We have. We need to we're actually going to get like some bookshelves, like antique bookshelves. Jeff, he's one of the board members. We got to organize everything. But yes, we will have room for it. I mean, we've got a bunch of stuff in there right now, but
Yeah.
we will. Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's mostly some Red Moon anthologies and some old frog ponds and stuff like that. Cool. All right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You're very generous.
Oh, well, this is fun. You know, it's a nice group of people, isn't it?
Oh my God, yeah, it's fantastic.
Really good.
I mean, we get so caught up in learning about the haiku that we don't even, you know, we're not even actually workshopping our own haiku that we're writing. But I'm excited that the next time that we're gonna
I realized right at the end that one of the things we wanted to do is look at people's work, but maybe this will work out better. It'll give everybody a chance to kind of process some of this, put some things together, and then, you know, with more people on board, you know, we'll probably have, we'll do 20 poems or something.
Well, that's why I wanted to not publicize it to new people, is because, you know, to make sure. I didn't know if it was too a small amount of people for a workshop, but like at the same time, you know, we don't want too many people who are new and they haven't heard everything that you've taught, and
Well,
we should.
I think if you wanted to, so the folks that have been along now, and the one woman, I can't remember her name, who did the workshop I did up at the folk school, she got basically the same thing, you know.
Right.
But this could be, you know, you could do something like this was what I would call a beginner's workshop and do it again next year.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe do it as 2 parts. I mean, we're kind of feeling our way through this, you know, and see how it goes. But this is a good group, and people now seem to have a nice rapport, some good senses of humor, you know. So
Yeah, that one woman, she said names of the color blue that I've never heard of before. So I mean, that was a learning experience in and of itself. That was fantastic.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be in touch with you. I'll let you know.
Yeah. So 17th sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, everybody seems very positive about it, so I'm happy with that.
Okay, and then you'll send out the reminders and the Zoom link and all that business.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time this afternoon.
Of course.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, Sean. Be well. Talk
All
to
right.
you.
Take care.